Hey everyone, today 4 farmhouse spring decor ideas using repurposed and upcycled items. By the way, if you're new here, I'm Tonya. Welcome to my channel. And I do hope that you all like, share, and subscribe. Let's go ahead and get started with this wood box that I found at Goodwill for a couple of dollars. Now I'm going to be using this new DIY paint. Well, it's new to me. And this is in the faded burlap. And everyone, I really love this. This is the first time that I have used the DIY paint. I actually ordered mine from Upcycled by Bree. And you can check out her channel. She does lots of really nice upcycled and repurposed items. Now I did put a couple of coats on there, and I'm going to make sure that I dry it really well before I go in with the dark wax. And what I like to do is just put a little bit on my fingers. I always wear a glove and just rub it on. And I really like how this turned this into just a really aged looking kind of farmhouse basket. And I thought this would be perfect to display some of the faux eggs in. And it really turned out nice. And you can see how quickly that aged that. And so if you haven't tried that DIY paint, I'm really enjoying it. So you may want to look that up and give it a try. Now I like to use the shredded paper for the Easter decor. And I just filled up the basket with a couple of bags. I got mine at Dollar Tree. And then I'm going to take some of those eggs that I found at Dollar Tree. It's just egg garland in the Dollar Tree Plus section. And I love these colors. And everyone, look how beautiful this turned out. What a nice little thrift store find. And I loved upcycling it, still using it as a basket and just changing it up a bit. Now for our next DIY, I'm going to be taking this $3 wall art piece. And I'm going to be using it as a little shadow box. And I'm going to take the hardware off of this, and I'm going to use that faded burlap again. And I wanted to do the same thing to this, make it have that really aged wood look. I just think that looks so pretty for spring, and it is Farmhouse February, so all of these are going to be turned into really beautiful farmhouse spring decor. Now I do put a couple of coats on this, especially to try to cover that teal blue color. But once I got this done, I decided to do the same thing with this. I ended up adding some of the black wax by the DIY paint. And then I'm also gonna add a little bit of white to it, and that kind of calmed this one down a little bit. But didn't that really change that look when I added that faded burlap? I think it really gave it that nice little aged look. Doing the same technique, rubbing on some of that dark wax. And I really like to use the glove. I just think it really makes it look like it's aged and maybe been sitting outside. Now once I get all this on there, I did put that on kind of dark, and then I decided to take some of the white swan, and it was the paint by DIY, and same technique, I'm just going to rub that in there all over just to really add some dimension and get all those weathered colors on here. And once I get this covered really well, I'm going to take just some wax that I had and brush that on and just blend all of those colors in really good. Well, I don't know about you everyone, but I love to go thrifting to find different pieces to create spring decor. I think it is that time of year where you can find the simplest items like I did today and turn them into some beautiful farmhouse spring decor. Now here's where I decided to take my brush that had a little bit of the clear wax, and I'm just really blending in all of the colors that I put on here. And I used quite a bit of pressure to do that. And once I got it done, I thought it made a really aged little box that I could use. And like I said, I'm going to turn this into a little shadow box. Now I found that little bird and the nest at Michael's this year in their pick section. And then I'm going to be taking some more of that greenery that I had picked up at Dollar Tree. Wonderful greenery they have this year at Dollar Tree, everyone. Definitely go check that out. But I'm going to make this one kind of simple. I'm just going to dress this up with some of that greenery around the little bird and its nest. And then I'm going to be pulling out some cardboard here in a minute. I'm really trying to use up some cardboard. And then I've got the cardstock paper. I had several books, and I'm sure a lot of you may have several books too. So I'm really trying to find ideas that we can do with those books of all kinds of different paper. Now I've been using my wood grain one quite a bit, and I'm just going to outline around my little shadow box and get a sizing that I need for the paper. And then I'll also be doing that on the cardboard, and that will make it have a really thick back to it, and it makes it look finished off on the back side also. And everyone, if you don't have any cardboard, the paper that they have at Dollar Tree would also work too. They've got plenty sheets of poster board that you can get for this. But if you're like me, I always find cardboard around my house. You could even probably use a cereal box for this particular design. Now, once I get everything cut out, I am going to go ahead and use that gel Elmer's glue, and that seems to be the best. I say that in every video, but I think that gel really keeps it from wrinkling up too bad. Once again, I'm just going to brush that on all around the edges and pop that on, and then we'll be ready to add the backing onto our little shadow box. I always like to take that little mini rolling pin too. That really presses everything down. But look how beautiful that makes that look. Now we're going to cut out our little notch, and so we can put our hanger back on there. And then I had picked up these cute little pictures at Dollar General, and you'll see one pop up here in a moment. But they have several of these, everyone, right now for $1. And I thought, you know what? I'm just going to put Love Grows here where the little mama bird is sitting on the nest. And everyone, look what an adorable little piece of farmhouse spring decor. Now for our next DIY, I have picked up that metal, I guess it's supposed to be like a bird cage. I paid $3 for that, and I thought I am going to put a back on this and use this to make a beautiful floral garden inside of it. And oh, I love how this one turned out. I think this one might be my favorite of today. And I'm going to go ahead and tape those cardstock sheets together, and I found this beautiful green wood tone here, and I thought this would be perfect for what I wanted this one to look like. Once I got everything taped together, you can see I traced around it and got the size that I needed, and we're going to be doing that same technique. We're going to add some cardboard to the back of this and make it really solid, and then that will finish our back off nicely. I actually go ahead and put some contact paper on the back of this one just for fun, just to make it a little bit more creative. Well, everyone, I hope that you're enjoying these farmhouse decor ideas so far. And if so, don't forget to give me a thumbs up and a like. And if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, I hope you consider doing so. I have so many wonderful ideas to share with you in the upcoming year. Now I'm going to go ahead and trace out around the bottom of my little wire bird cage. And I'm going to make a base for this that I can glue on to the back piece that I just made. And the reason why I want to do that is I want to make like a little pocket in there that I can put my moss and my florals in. But everyone, there are so many things you can do with cardboard. So I hope that you are enjoying that I'm using a lot of cardboard, because I have so many ideas that will be very budget friendly and inexpensive, and when we get them done, they're going to be beautiful pieces that you can display in your home. Now once I get that glued on there, I'm going to take my little mini roller, and that little mini roller really helps to seal everything in as far as the glue onto the cardboard. Now I'm going to see if this fits, and you can tell I'm going to need to trim a little bit off, but I will give you a tip. I do draw around here so I know what to cut off. I tried to use my utility knife and it was tearing the paper a little bit, so I suggest definitely using your scissors to cut that off. You'll see me, you can tell where I kind of tore it a little bit, so I had to go in with my scissors and trim that off. But once I got that done, it fit onto the back of the little wire bird cage really well, and I do glue it down just to hold it a little bit because that glue's probably not going to stick with that metal really well. So I end up adding some zip ties to the top there. And I decided to go ahead and just put a little bit of that paper on the bottom part of my cardboard for the base of this, because I thought if it was hanging on a wall, you'd be able to see it from the underneath. So I wanted to make sure that had something pretty underneath. But everyone, if you are still with me, I think they have those little house emojis. Let's go ahead and pop one of those in the comments below, and I'll know that you're still with me through our Farmhouse February. Now you can see how I glued that on there, and I just wanted to seal that up. I do put a little bit more glue onto the back of that, but look how neat that is. And then I found that really fun contact paper, and I decided to put that on the back just to make it look pretty. But once I got that glued on really well, I decided to just take some of this light colored moss, and this was just some that I had in my craft stash. I think my daughter might have given me this one. And then here are some flowers that I had in my craft stash. These are actually those paper type flowers that they had at Michael's last year, and I got them when they were marked down. But I'm going to start building this little floral garden inside my little bird cage. So I pulled out just whatever florals that I wanted mine to look like. But everyone, can you not see this done in so many different colors? I think this is just a fun design, and you could actually just use some chicken wire and maybe fix this where you could get a similar look to this. So I hope this idea inspires you and you can come up with your own kind of creative ideas. Or maybe you'll find one of these little bird cages like I did at Goodwill. Now I'm just going to poke a hole right there in those holes, and those holes were perfect. They give me somewhere to zip tie this on to make it really secure. But everyone, I got this done and I thought, okay, I'm going to leave it like this. And then I remembered I had those little pink mushrooms, and I thought, okay, we're gonna have to pull out some of these pinkish rose-colored flowers and pop those in, which it really made the design. You'll have to let me know what you think. And then that kind of pulled together where I wanted to add those little mushrooms popping up all inside of that little moss area down at the bottom. But like I said, this made a beautiful little piece, and I put the hanger on the back, even though I end up hanging it from that little top ring, because I thought this would also make a really pretty little door greeter. So that's why I put the rope hanger on the back. But everyone, here we go. We're using our last little bunch of mushrooms. I'm gonna have to get back over to Dollar Tree and see if I can find some more of these. And I think when I get some, I want to paint some of them maybe in the beigey kind of neutral colors too, and then add the little white speckles back on there. But I really did have fun using these in the last couple of videos. And I think we'll pop in a couple more there. And I think I ended up, I decided I needed a little bit of height at the top. So I decided to pop some more florals in there and just fill up my little bird cage. But everyone, isn't this just an adorable little wall piece? It would make a great door greeter or a wall piece. But everyone, here it is. And I think it couldn't be cuter. Let me know what you think of this one in the comments below. Well, everyone, I've got one more for you today, and it was another little thrift store find. Now here it is. I found that little $3, it's just a little picket fence, and it's like a little planter, and I decided that I wanted to turn this into some wall art. You see, I was using some more of that old and gray age paint, and I really like this one that I got, and that is a DIY paint. And I just decided to go ahead and just rub it on this wood panel that I had picked up in the Dollar Tree Plus section. And I'm gonna do the same thing. I wanted to add a piece of the cardstock in there. I'm really trying to use up a lot of that. So if you are into using up a lot of craft supplies that you may have around the house, well, that is definitely what I'm gonna be doing this year. So this was a piece that I found. The color wasn't quite right, but I end up, you can see, taking that gray and just rubbing it right over that paper. And then I just was gonna paint this little picket fence planter, but I decided just to rub that gray right on there and just give it a little bit of age look, because I'm gonna use this one to put those cute little bumblebees. Everyone, I found the little bumblebees at Michael's the same time I found the little bird nest with the bird in it. And I thought these were absolutely adorable. And I wished I would have got more of these. Now, I do pull in some pink because I've got just a few more little mushrooms. I thought that I would pop in this design. And this one could not have been cuter. I think those little bees are absolutely adorable. Well, now we're just gonna finish this one off, pop those little mushrooms in there, and you've got the cutest little farmhouse spring wall decor piece for your home. And I think this would be really pretty on a porch. But everyone, that is it for today's DIYs. I hope that you enjoyed each one of these. If so, put one of those little houses in the comments if you watched to the end. And I hope you have a wonderful and blessed week. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And I will see you on the next one.